Good morning, everyone. This is Biz Chicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And so we'd like to welcome you to Coffee Thoughts because it's Monday, and that's when we sit back and relax and just talk about whatever's on our minds at the time. And I want to introduce my co-host, Ms. Francine Gregory, real estate entrepreneur and tech diva, and our guest host today, Ms. Karen Fern, your money mindset coach. How you doing? She's like, why? You recognize it just here? Say, I'm a few coffee thoughts. Should I I saw the fear go through. I was like, oh my God, that's supposed to prepare something? That's what I'm always prepared, Karen. And I'm from California cover-ups with the Biz Chicks. Welcome. Get your coffee, tea, water. Let's hydrate. Whatever it is.
Hey Siri, stop.
In order to sit down and focus on doing better. Hey everybody, how you doing this morning?
Hey, we want to.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon in Canada and other parts of the world. It might be evening. You might be having a different kind of cocktail. So, yeah. Might be
So welcome everybody watching live on YouTube, watching live on Facebook, watching live on Twitter and Google Plus. We want to say we just want to say welcome. Thank you for watching the replay as well. So we're here to help take the hassle out of your hustle and help you build a profitable business that is fun to run. And so that's what we're going to do today. Today, we're going to talk about eliminating self-sabotage.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we're probably not going to get to all of it because there's a lot of stuff. And the self-sabotage stuff, I'm going to have Terry read the definition of it, and then we'll dive in. Okay, no, not a problem.
I got it.
I know you got all of that. So, but we're gonna start talking about it because we're trying to, we're all going towards success and we're all going towards someplace. And there's these things that just keep happening. And like, you know how that old story, you take one step forward, 2 steps back. And what is the problem? Why is this back and forth? And Coach Karen, who is our money mindset coach, she a lot of time explains some things like you go, oh, so that's why I keep doing that. And I'm not getting the results that I'm looking for, or I'm not getting past something because these sabotages may not come up right away. It may let you get real big and then show up.
Okay.
It's not messing with you while you're down here not doing too much of anything. When you get in the White House, then it starts. Then there's a whole difference. It's like, what is this? And so anyway, whatever your White House happens to be, not necessarily talking about the United States White House. We're just talking about when you get to a bigger platform.
The big house.
Clarification.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you want me to read the definition?
Yes, please read the definition of
self-sabotage.
Yeah.
According to Psychology Today, it says behavior is said to be self-sabotaging when it creates problems and interferes with long-standing goals. Okay, the most common self-sabotaging behaviors include procrastination, self-medication, such as drugs, alcohol, comfort eating. Oh, let me move my toes. Comfort eating and forms of self-injury, such as cutting. They may seem helpful at the moment, but ultimately they undermine us, especially when we engage in them. So that is the definition of self-sabotage, and then I was reading an article why you shouldn't ask yourself what you have to offer, because a lot of times self-sabotage is anything that interferes with you making progress toward what you want to achieve.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. It is so true. And let me first say this is such a great subject because each and every one of us has experienced it, continue to experience it at some level or another. And so it's a great subject. And let's start talking about women in the whole. We self-sabotage ourselves like nobody's business. Our minds play so many tricks on us, and we just engage in the trickery. Let me just say that. We engage in the trickery, so then now we're not sure if we are being tricked or we're tricking ourselves.
You know why? Because it's our voice we hear in our head.
All the time.
All the time. It's a familiar voice.
Yes.
It's not like some of the boogeymen come and say, ooh, we're going to get you business, and ooh, you're not going to make it. It's us talking to us.
Yes.
And, so the question is, have you listened to your self-talk lately?
Yes, yes. And people have been asking that on Facebook like crazy. And it's true. And I'm going right back to the journaling because I used to write to Foreign Girl. I had this, it's myself. Yeah. But I used to write to Foreign Girl. And I could tell, because I used to write to Foreign Girl versus just telling it to Karen. And so I would dump a lot of stuff on her. And it was for some reason more easier to dump it on her instead of myself. That was since college days. I picked up this old book the other day and I saw Foreign Girl. I'm like, girl, we haven't hung out in a while, right? And Foreign Girl will give it to me like, when I'm messing around, she'll say things to me. And it's so funny. I watched a movie the other day and they were talking about how much personalities we have. And society has told us that having so much personality, we are crazy. But think about it. Are we really crazy when we tap into those parts of us that we need to at that time specifically?
And the question is, can you stay sane if you're not changing hats all the time as a woman? You're a mom, you're Karen, you're a sister, you're a daughter, you're a parent, you're the PTA parent, you're the soccer ball mom parent, you're at work, you're out in the marketplace. You got all these hats. You're in the church, you're in this organization or sorority or whatever it is you got going on in your social life. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't start changing hats, I mean, I can't walk up into my bunco group talking about stuff that I talk about in the marketplace.
Exactly. But it's socially accepted to do that because you're among other people, but it's not socially accepted to do it on your own. Society tells you that you can. And so then you feel like you can't. Now, right or wrong, I got my girls, right? I don't really care. You have to get to this place where you don't care. Because if these ladies in your head is giving you comfort, clarifying things for you, getting you to move forward, of course you're going to visit with them. But it also means you have to experience and get to a point where it's okay to have this conversation with them. The funny thing is, if you don't, they keep coming back to you. And they really come back and visit you. And then you procrastinate because you're debating if you should have this, this stuff with them. It really makes you feel like, could I really have this conversation with them? Could I really do this stuff with them? I remember when I was talking to Foreign Girl because I passed out at school. I fell on the concrete steps and I passed out. And that's because, of course, I was doing 2 jobs, plus my job as a mom and a wife, plus going to college full time. And I literally just passed out from all the studies and all the other stuff. And, Foreign Girl and I had a good conversation about it. And she told me I need to knock one of those jobs out. Okay, one, but let it go.
You cannot be, you can have it all, but not all at the same time.
Right. So I let one of my jobs go. I listened to her. I probably wouldn't listen to Karen because, I could reason me out of the idea. But me writing to Foreign Girl and telling her, and she said, what would you tell somebody else? And I know this, and it sounds crazy to some people, but she said, what would you say? And I said, I would tell them to leave a job. She said, well, what are you waiting for? So, of course, I went in. I didn't even go in. I just called them and said to them, I am not coming back in.
I won't do that.
I'm done.
Seriously. And sometimes it just takes that moment for us to get clarity about what our priorities are. When we reach a physical fatigue, a mental fatigue, I think for me, it was when my children were small and everybody was preschool. I was going to school at night. I was substitute teaching during the day. And I was running a full-time ministry with my husband. Okay, so now, when did clarity happen? Clarity happened when I showed up at the wrong school to substitute.
Okay.
And I had left my books there. So the Lord sent me back because I forgot my book. Because I'd been at that school for a couple of days.
Right.
My mind was in a rhythm. But you're a substitute teacher, so you move around. But between parenting, ministering, going to school, and work, world, please.
I hear you.
That's why I'm feeling you. Thank God I don't have any health issues on top of that, other than mental health, because I was in the wrong place.
But you know, there are some times when we are we're doing all of this, and it's self-sabotage. Martha, in the story of Mary and Martha, she was doing self-sabotage because Jesus never told her to go fix dinner.
Nope.
She just decided, oh, people are coming over. I'm going to have to fix dinner. I'm going to have to wash the dishes, and I got to do that. And she's just running around like a rabbit. And nobody told her to do all of that.
All right.
And then you get mad at the other people who are calm.
Okay, so here's another form of self-sabotage. Okay, we blame our negative talk or our failure on the actions of others. I failed because you didn't pick me up for the event. I failed because, you knew I couldn't do all that homework. I failed because I committed to be there at 6:30, and I know I get out of my other event at 6, and I can't get across town because it takes 45 minutes. And you couldn't. Why would you schedule? But it's somebody else's fault. You had that too early in the evening. You're not going to get off work till 6. So y'all change your event.
So, but what is happening is the self-sabotaging behavior, we have identified it. A lot of it are us putting it on ourselves. Yes. We take it and decide, okay, I'm going to wear this today because I am going to wear this today. You decided that. Mm-hmm. But you're mad at everybody else because you decided to wear black today.
Because we don't know how to be really mad at ourselves as never we want to be. We don't know, so we have to find an object with somebody to blame. But the truth is, the buck stopped with us. Mine was I'm still a lister. My list, I brought my list down from my daughter's getting baby, so I had to start. And the list was tremendously long. I mean, it had days, I did the whole thing, and I had some help. But the people couldn't help me do half of the things that needed to be done because they've got their own issues.
They got their own list?
Oh, wait. They were doing their stuff.
So, because I have developed this thing where, and this is how Christmases ago with my family, because I used to be mad with them. I'm like, we've got to clean for Christmas. Never mind. Want somebody come in and clean? Never mind them. We are cleaning for Christmas. Everything is coming down. And then finally I stopped doing it. Why? Because I was blaming the people and then I would be too tired. And my husband called me a day and he says, Karen, stop this craziness. And I was mad with him because I was like, he's like, so you want me to let you do it? I'm like, yeah. Of course I didn't want him to, but I felt like I needed to. So I stopped there. I listened and I put it on the fridge. I put everything still on the list, but next to the list have people's name so that they know that they could do it on their time, and I stopped being frustrated with it. Because how I was self-sabotaging that is that I would let that obsess me, and then I wouldn't do my work. And so you see now, my work that pays me wasn't getting done. Because in my head space, I'm fussing with the people who's supposed to wipe the walls or paint the wall, depending on when it was, or clean the oven or whatever the task was. I was taking that away. And when I get really mad, I would actually do it. But when I clean the oven and my arms are tired, I'm not writing content. I'm not meeting with a potential client. I am not writing my blog.
I think because a lot of times entrepreneurs work from home, it's easier to clean the oven, wipe out the refrigerator, whatever we have to do, than to sit down and do the work.
Yes.
Because the work is so mental a lot of times that it's draining, and this looks easier. Oh,
yes. And we're used to it. And not only easier, Terry, we're used to it. I mean, that's what we do. So what I got to realize was, I help my clients with this, I say this all the time, this is new territory. Let's say you're learning Canva, and it's hard as hell.
Yes.
Cleaning the oven is so much better to do than learning Canva.
It's familiar. We let the familiar interrupt us.
You can see victory. You can see victory cleaning the oven, sweeping the floor, mopping and doing the laundry. But when you sit down to figure out how to set up your Google Calendar, when you sit down to how to figure out how to get your email marketing strategy together, what emails that you're going to write to put out on a consistent basis, that is like daunting. And you're like, I'll just go and wash the dishes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you see, because we are on the internet streets, and I'm not saying to get off, but because we're on the internet street, we hear people and we don't understand that they're at a different place in their lives. And they're saying to us, get a VA. And you're like, well, if I had a VA, she could have done all this, and we start wasting time. Hello, you got no clients, you're not wasting time. You're learning how to start your business with a great foundation so that when the VA hop on board, she's not lost. She actually knows what to do for you. VAs will let you go. There are people like you and I. If you're confusing the heck out of them, what you do?
Well, they don't want to sit there and help you figure out your business.
No.
And you don't know your business until you've worked your business.
Thank you. Well said, Terry. Thank you. And nobody wants to understand that. That's the grunt work that you're trying. Anytime you're trying to get out the grunt work, go get a job. Because business is built through hustle, grunt work, annoying work, mental work you know how to do. Repetition, consistency, wasting time if you want to say that, because you're not, but you might feel like you're wasting time. That's what builds your business. That's how you're going to make it to that client. Because while you're not doing that, you're also hiding from your ideal client.
Because that's the talk in your head. It says, have you listened to your self-talk lately? Are you talking about a hassle, or are you talking about an investment? You know, I'm investing time in my business. I'm not wasting time.
Right.
And there are people, that's one of the things, a conversation we had earlier today. What do you say to you? What are you saying to you on a daily basis? Because what you say to you matters. And and what you believe about what somebody else has said to you. Now you're saying it to yourself.
Yes, because you're transferring that. That's why at my mirror, when I brush my teeth in the morning, there is, and this is from college, I love to paste up notes. And so I literally have it, and it's sit there, talk about me, I have integrity, I'm hardworking, I'm self-motivated. So there's a bunch of words I've got. Then I take them, there's a breath in between, and I do it again. By the time I finish brushing my teeth, I go through all those words, and I go through those words. When I go visit the washroom, I go through the words. We had the shower here, and I forgot everything. And so people were busy reading all kinds of signs. This is so funny. And you know what? As the men that came to me after the shower, they're like, why do you have those signs? Oh my God. I took some photograph. I hope that was okay, because I'm going to use this crap. I am going to use it because time we're in college and the guys are like, I need this kind of motivation. You never know who you're going to motivate when you do something. Because
you never know who your true audience is. So they say, he said, I need from who?
And see, you talking to you, if you don't talk to you, you're not going to help somebody else. So the conversation, excuse me, the conversation that you have with you is so critical, because it's going to either get you out of something that you're in, or either it's going to keep you spiraling down because you're listening to that. And we talked about taking on the voices of others. You need to be really watching what other voices are going in and getting inside of you.
And you can't let everybody speak into you.
No, not if you're going up here and you can't let the ditch diggers tell you how to climb the mountain.
No.
Come on down. You get a little high.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's really disturbing to me is this term bougie. Oh, you're just so bushy. You just want to be bushy. Well, why are you getting up every day going to work if you're not trying to do better?
Because I wanted to know, Terry, I just like you're talking about that, because I hear that my whole life, and I really want to do what it meant. Like, what does that mean?
To me, it's like uppity. So you're just an uppity Negro. No, I'm a person who's doing the work and expects to be rewarded, because the objective is to get ahead and do better.
Okay, so for you who don't understand the term, it is a term that is often spoken of in the African American culture. The word bougie, I believe it is from a French term, I do know.
French bourgeoisie, which was part of the French Revolution.
Correct.
Because of Mary, what's her name?
Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, the whole thing was about them living this opulent life. Well, you know what I'm saying? And so now, if you speak proper English, are educated, or an entrepreneur of any distinction, actually own a home, own your car, then you're considered bougie.
Yeah, because, when a friend first called me that, when I came to Canada, I was like, what are you talking about?
And now my response is, thank you. Because that's what my mama was trying to get me. Better.
Thank you.
And the sabotage would be for you to take on, oh, well, I don't want them to think I'm better than that. Okay, no, I cannot think for you.
No.
You're going to have to think whatever you want about me, but I need to know what I need to know about me, because I could be quote unquote bougie, or I could be broke. Let's see. I'm not going broke.
There you go.
I like that. We need to write that down, Fred. Bougie or broke? Which one's it going to be?
There you go. And if you sabotage yourself, you're certainly getting to the bougie. You're not getting there. So we don't want to keep. We really don't want to keep it there. We want to focus on when the negative appear, because it's part of our lives. We have to find something to battle with it and not keep it there, because when we do keep it there, it makes us not want to get and do. I mean, I remember somebody asking me about content, and I'm telling them what they have to do, and they simply said to me, I need to do all of that, but you're reading other people all of that. So why don't you want to do all of that? It might mean you have to take 48 to 72 hours offline to sit down and batch. That's how you do your content. And you sit there and you write it. For me, like, I sit and I think I have something going on right now called attitude. And so I write everything about attitude. And I just write about it. I'm going to turn that started turning into content. It don't look like how I started writing it. It get batched off, it get sectioned off, and it's tedious work. Mm-hmm. It mightn't be fun work to some, but it's the work where I put on my music, or I might put on one of my mental mentors and have them talk into while I'm doing this, because their background is more refreshing at times than listening to something that I really have to go to. And it's usually something that I've heard before. So it's just reinforcing in me, while I prep content.
While you do the things we do, right?
We do. If I'm on Canva, the same thing. Because I need to prep my content, and because out of the content, I'm going to take statements and put into Canva and make it look pretty. So when I put it all together, I'm ready to go. And yes, it might take me 3 days. Well, what am I doing my 3 days? Maybe I park the weekend just to do it. So if you call me up as a friend, I'm not going out with you because I parked my weekend and I'm not feeling bad about it. We can't feel bad about that. So.
I hear you. And people want to interrupt and distract. Now, friend, we saw that video Saturday about the rabbi. You want to talk about that?
Go for it. No, go. You tell us the story.
They showed this rabbi, I think, on one of the morning programs. He is paralyzed from the neck down with Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS. And but he writes a sermon every week with his eyes on his computer, and then he delivers it electronically through the computer. Lets his computer read it to the congregation. He has people coming through there. He's praying for people. People are celebrating different events with him in his sick room. His wife is there ministering to him and taking care of the kids that they have. He's living a full life to the best of his capacity with just the use of his eyes and his brain. Okay, so now the question we were asking was, what's your excuse? What is your self-talk? Because he could have decided, I'm done. And it's literally going to take over and I'm just done.
Yeah, and he's going for it. And again, me and my sons, if it's hard to just know it in your head and you can't do anything, write it down on a piece of 3x5 and look at it. Go around your house and read it. If you're not at home and you're in an office cubicle, put it up there. And if you're at the coffee shop, the computer has an edge around it, your desk, your laptop, stick them around so that you will still see them. You tell me where you are, and I'll find your place to sticky notes.
Now, I had to take, when I was working, my computer, I used my computer for research a lot on that job. But the deal was I wasn't doing anything in my personal life. Mm-hmm. So what I would do is I had a red, yellow, and green button that little dots, because I'm a trainer and I had dots for different facilitations. And I put those dots on the computer to remind me when I sat down in the morning to press that green dot and dream.
Okay, say that again because it was a little static. Do it again.
Press that green dot to remind me to dream.
Beautiful, I love it.
That red dot was to tell me, the yellow one was to tell me, this is caution territory here, girl. You better figure out what you want from that green button and press it. Because otherwise, the red light's keeping ready to come on. Because what do we say, friend? The opportunity lasts.
The lifetime of the opportunity. And so you don't know if this opportunity is coming by again. You don't know if that $1 million client is coming by again that you're not ready for because you didn't want to sit down and write the content. The opportunities are coming by. Like they say, grab the brass ring on the merry-go-round. But you can't grab the brass ring because you're not even in the carnival. You
didn't take a seat. You didn't buy a ticket.
Didn't buy a ticket. Yeah.
You didn't buy the ticket.
And
else was riding.
I like how Dr. Godot said at an event we were, it's worth repeating. He said, God feeds the birds of the air. He just doesn't throw the seed up in the nest. I was like,
no, doesn't. He doesn't. Jim Rohn used to say a thing at some of his earlier talks. And the one thing he always talked about, and he even talked about when he got older, but that was one of his things I held on to. He said his dad was a farmer, and he would always plant double the seeds that was necessary for whatever he was planting. And when he asked him, he said, why are you doing that? Because, of course, the other farmers are doing whatever. And he said to him, the birds need something. So I'm planting for me and the birds. So while a farmer will complain that the birds eat most of the seed, they'll be fell because he's making sure he put a potion for them and a potion for himself. So when it's time to reap.
Because you know that is their life cycle. You know they're part of the plan. So you plan for it.
Yes, and because the birds are only going to eat so much. And therefore your crop is going to be so much. But if you put less than double than the part that the birds ate, you would have half the crop that you should have had.
So you get to make an excuse so you can procrastinate, so you can not do it the next time around, so you can say your farm doesn't work.
And you can there you go. It doesn't work. That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking, Karen. So now you can say, well,
oh, the birds ate my stuff.
Because last season, I only got 50%. And out of that, I only got 15%. So it ain't worth it.
Yeah. And you don't want to. You just want to give up. This reminds me again of watching how people will give up. I went to live in this place where when I got there, I was like, God have mercy, what's wrong with you, Karen? And like, I mean, I visited, and literally, I was in the home. We were going to rent the home in this Guyana, and we got there, and I look around, and I said, something must be wrong with you, because the place is without vegetation. It doesn't look like. I work from home. I have always been a work from home kind of lady. So I need neighbors. I need people around. And I was thinking, this got to be the craziest idea. And I looked at my husband and I said, we can't move here. And he's like, this is where you can get all the space. This is where, I mean, all the positive within the home were great. The yard were great. But the surroundings was not great for me, for him, yeah, because he has a job and we start talking how he's going to take care of us. And we didn't need these people.
But you needed a community.
I do. Always do. Love people. Need a community. I have to have one. It's my business to have one. And you know, when I started looking at it, 2 to 3 weeks, I'm thinking, what am I supposed to do? And he's on my clients where I am, nobody's going to come there. And I started looking at options. And every option that I looked at wasn't looking great. And then when I finally got one that looked great, I had a lady came up and was telling my mom the other day. She said to me, you know, I've been looking at this spot forever. You can't come and take it. And it's a public spot, but she's living down the street and I'm coming from way deep down another street. So if you look at it on the front end, she should get that. That's what people will think. But I went there a day or two, and by the third day, she took my spot by the time I got out there. And I could have given up. And I really could have just don't do it.
This sounds like the ice cream man. Go ahead.
I couldn't do it, you know. And so the fourth day, I was out there. So she was in front of me, I'm behind. So people are coming to her first before they get to me. But my core was, my stuff is better than hers, period. And that's what I was going to hold on to. But by Friday, I realized the journey to get there to outshine her, I didn't need. So I took a step back, I recouped. And the second week, I decided to do in front of where I live. Now, I'm going to describe this place to you so you can understand what's happening. Maybe you've never seen it, but I'm going to try my best. In front of me, it's a cane field, so nobody will live in there. Mm-hmm. On my right side, there's a railroad track, and a lot of vegetation have grown up. So there's nobody, but rascals live deep, deep within. On behind me, and then on my right, there's one house, but the lady's a teacher. She's hardly ever there. So it looked like dead zone. And my husband and a couple of friends of mine said to me, I am the craziest person they've ever met because I put out a stand, if you will, in front of the people that live somewhere. Obviously, people live in the area, but far away. But because one person passed with a car and saw it and thought I was crazy, he brought a whole bunch of people to see the crazy lady.
See the crazy lady.
You understand? But the crazy lady was sold out within 2 hours because everybody who came on.
I'm just saying.
Stop procrastinating, people.
Yeah, because the self-sabotage would have been, well, I can't set up here. It's in the desert. It's in a deserted place. There's nobody out here. There's no point in me setting up to sell nothing because there's nobody out here. But you sell out in 2 hours.
People keep asking, are you going to be here tomorrow? So I'm going to be here every day. As long as you come, I'll be there. And then I got the people who came to say, I was thinking of doing stuff. I'm like, where do you live? I live behind there, but I wasn't sure what to do. And of course, Karen can't help herself. So yeah, do you. Because I've never been afraid that if somebody sells anything close to what I'm selling, that I wouldn't do well.
I did. I'm not afraid of competition either. I'm amazed how he will allow you to bloom in the desert. And so,
girl, God is so good.
He says, what do you have in your hand, right?
Yes.
And when you were planted, if I put you here, I can prosper you here.
Exactly. That's the only reason you're in this spot. You're in this spot to bloom. And the second part of the journey is to help somebody.
Yeah.
And then the third part of the journey is to help that person help somebody. Like, you got to know these three things come together. Because if you don't, then you would notice if you're only helping you, after a while, you'll dry up.
Oh, because you can't hoard all that stuff. Come on. How many cars can you drive? How many houses can you live in?
It's that whole Dead Sea thing. You got to have an inlet
and an outlet.
Yes.
You cannot.
Yes. And so you have to procrastinate. You procrastinate sometimes because if you never had money and then you get money, you also start procrastinating because now you don't know how to let go because you're afraid you get back in the spot of not having.
Mm.
So we're back to what I was talking about a few weeks ago, where when you train your mind and plan ahead, even when you're in the dead zone, even when you're in the hard times, even when you're in the place where you might have money, but it's tied up and it's invested and you can't just take it out, but you're in hard times. And let's face it, that is a hard time too. So people keep thinking when you broke your heart, it's hard time. But you could be in hard times where you got a house and you can't pull money out. You can be in hard time because you invested in something and you can't take it out before the 2 or 3 years. That is still a hard time for the person who don't have the immediate. And so if you got things that you can do in the immediate, you wouldn't stay in the hard times. Mm. Because we only always dwell on the people who don't have, but there's people who have. But it's not liquid cash. It can be liquidated at a snap of a hand because the penalty might outweigh the liquidation. So you might be, wrestling with that sort of thing. So you have to keep that in mind. And that in itself can make you procrastinate, self-sabotage, think you can't do anything. I know for me, everybody has their thing. I love TV. I tell you guys all the time. So I will find myself just watching shows after shows after show because I don't want to deal with a specific thing. Good thing I have foreign girl or any other one of my people who say, hey, Karen, what the hell are you doing?
Get up.
You watch 5 hours of TV. Like, come on. Are you crazy? People tell you in this house, I'll get up, take a shower, wash my face, and they're like, Mom, what happened? I woke up.
Yeah, because see, I think another remedy for self-sabotage, just what you just said, is a plan. Writing a plan. Because if you don't have a plan, that is a form of self-sabotage.
Planning to, not having a plan is planning to fail. I mean, they say this all the time and people don't like it. Only because we keep thinking about a 25-page business plan and that's not what people are talking about.
No, and we are so not talking about that.
Yeah, we're talking about a page. We're talking about 3 lines if that's all you have today. I want to plan to open, I don't know, a classroom. I want to plan a workshop. Write 3 things down. Tomorrow, what else does this plan need? Write it down. I want to open a restaurant. And everybody's going to tell you don't open a restaurant. But if you know that's what you want to do, your job is to research how you're going to have a restaurant that looks like nobody else's restaurant. And you're going to sell like crazy. That's your job. Like don't worry the dishes and all that sort of stuff. Your job is I am going to open a restaurant in the next 90 days and I'm going to sell out like crazy. That's your plan.
And
here's the things I need to do. Here's the things I need to do. Here's the things I don't know how to do. Because you got to get out of this too. What I don't know to do.
Yep. And the self-sabotage is listening to them people who said that restaurants fail in the first year and blah, blah. That's the self-sabotage.
Gosh.
listening to the experts.
Yeah. Yeah. I rather learning curve. I love learning curve. I do not like the word failure. I love learning curve because what am I learning every time something didn't work out?
Let me ask you this, ladies. When you were learning to ride a bike, okay, you're 6 years old, 7 years old, you learn to ride a bike. Did your mother or the parent or the big brother or sister come up and say, 98% of these people who learn to ride a bike fail?
I like that, Terry. Nobody would do that.
Don't say that to kids. Why do we say that to business owners and people who want to be entrepreneurs? Why do we come with that first?
Because we can't picture, and most of these people, it's not people who have a business. Most people cannot picture themselves doing what you want to do. So they can't see it for you because they haven't seen themselves. And for a business person, if they tell you that, that's because they have learned a lot of things and they don't want to see you sometimes fail like that. The problem is they are looking at the failure. If that's a business owner, I always say that's a business owner who continuously look at their failures versus what they were winning with. Because the winners don't tell you that.
So your focus needs to be on the failure or the success. You cannot keep watching. I was watching somebody who rides bicycles and stuff. You have to look where you're going, not here. You need to be sure that you're watching where you're going, because if you start looking over here, then you're going to veer off over there.
That's what happens. When I used to have a daycare, I had a child here. The grandparent owned a cycling store. And so we would talk business, and I said to him, "You're in Canada. Are you crazy? Why did you open a cycling store?" Right? And I was just teasing him because I know he's going to tell me why. And I want to know why. And he said to me, "Do you really want to know why, or is this for conversation?" I'm like, "It's not for conversation. This is, I want to know why." He came from Trinidad, got a job, and was just temporary in the job. And they told him it's a temporary position. If the person doesn't come back, he'll get full time. The person came back, they kicked him out. And he went with an agency and he said, "Current in space of Monday, send me to 6 to 12 different places to work, 2 days here, 5. And he said, the last time they sent me out, I said to them, "Listen, buddy, if you don't have me a job where I can go 3 to 4 days a week, I ain't going." And they said to him, "That's not how it works. You have to work your way up." He goes, "But anything I'm working my way up, it's what I know to do." And he said he walked out. He got home and his wife said, "You are the nuttiest person I ever." "I didn't marry you." He went into steam. And he said, "I had this idea to open this bike store since in Trinidad. And I'm thinking, how am I going to do it?" And one of the men that he met on his last job said, "Why are you worried? How are you going to do it? I mean, I'm here. I have no idea. You have an idea." And he left and he was riding. He used to ride. He loved riding his bike. He started, he joined a club and did professional riding. And he went to the club the Tuesday and he said, he asked everybody, "If I was to fix your bike, when it got a problem, would you allow me to? You don't need to pay me." And everybody said to him, "Are you crazy? Of course we're going to pay you. This is wrong with my bike. This is wrong with my bike. There's no shop to fix my bike. It's ridiculous. We're here. Nobody cares about your bike. Got to keep buying a new bike." And he had 12 clients he knew waiting. And he said he fixed those 12 bikes and he allowed people to pay him whatever it is they wanted to pay him, more than he would have charged.
Wow.
And he said that was the turn. I started riding with more people. And everybody, I could fix their bike. If we're on riding and practicing, anything happened, I could fix their bike. This is a gift. He told me, "God gave me this gift." And it's a bike fixing gift. So everybody thought, that's not a gift. He said, "People told me this.
It is a
gift. I don't
gift.
get bike repairing gifts." They told him. But he wouldn't listen. Thank God he didn't listen. Because he had a store that was worth over $5 million. That's what he did. He worked half a year, because that's what Canada gave us in the good season. And when it's cold, he repair people's bike. He show you how to store your bike. He have conversations about the bike. He goes to different network meetups. He holds his own seminar on bikes. He has a business that makes money from bicycles.
He created a community. First of all, he went and found his community.
Yep.
Yeah, because I was getting ready to say that, Terry, because he needed to get out from under them other people that wasn't interested in bikes. So a lot of times we self-sabotage by hanging out in the wrong neighborhood.
Thank you. He said he dropped all of them. everybody who was interested in the bike is why he told me it's crazy. Eliminate them.
Because it's not going to your destiny.
Thank you.
You always run it through the filter. If you're going into the cycling business, you need to associate with people who are like-minded, people who need cycling information about cycling.
Yes, and he has his own store. He told me that he has bike in his shop that is couple $1,000. I said, people buy those? He's like, yeah, those are my best sellers. Cheap bikes they can buy anywhere.
And see, so the other part of self-sabotage is talking yourself out of getting paid what you're worth, because he could have said, okay, well, I'm not going to set up I was hearing somebody that I'm not going to price it that high because, well, yeah, you do need to price it that high because those people wanted the bike. And then Terry, what did you tell me? People don't trust it if it's too cheap.
No, they don't.
They don't trust the quality if it's like, okay, what's wrong with it? Why does it cost that much? The people who are willing to pay the high end are going to start questioning the quality and the value if it's
and the workmanship.
Yeah. Like if supposing they had a Maserati that's $20,000, you could be like, what's wrong with the car?
Mm-hmm. How many miles on it? You start investigating.
That doesn't have an engine, does it? Something's wrong with the car. A Maserati at 20,000, 40, 50, 60,000, something is wrong with the car because the Maserati is over $100,000 car. So what's the problem?
What's the problem? Exactly. He says, when somebody comes to buy my bikes, when somebody comes into the store, he says, when somebody come into my store to buy a bike, we have a discussion. This is not a bike you just pick and drive and ride out. We talk about it. I tell them how to take care of it. They come back in. There's a conversation that's happening along the way. There's people who have bikes on layaway who literally is excited for the sport, but it's not in their capacity at the moment to buy the bike. And those people, so it's not a story you can go layaway like you're crazy. So you have to have this conversation with him before he agrees to hold the bike. So in other words, you're invested in the bike.
In other words, he's looking to see, are you really his customer? Or do you need something from a manufacturer, something that you can get online or whatever? Because I need to qualify you. And I do that through a series of conversations.
Yes.
Conversational sales. Isn't what you talked to us about?
Yeah. Yep.
And relationship, because I'm looking for a long-term customer.
Exactly. Because when he sells you his bike, he maintains it. You come back there.
Exactly. And so we're
building with other people.
We're building trust, right?
Yep.
In these conversations, and other people are sitting around the shelter. Why is he wasting his time? That man's been in here 20 times. He ain't buying nothing. He understands customer service now includes relationship and trust building for long-term relationships.
Exactly. The man was, if you want to talk about good salesman, he used to be like a big guy now, he's retired. But, that's what he did. And his son-in-law told me, because his son-in-law said, he's being modest with what he told me. He goes, I wouldn't have my career if I didn't met my father-in-law. He said, the man has taught me so much about sales that he said, when I got into the sales company he was with, and they're telling him what to do, he said, listen, I don't mind doing you, but I'm going to do me. If you're going to employ me, I'm going to do me. And he said, he has closed more sales than what they were teaching him, all because he listened to his father-in-law. Because his father-in-law said to him, listen, when you get to somebody, I know you're excited to make money, scratch it. Get to the door, get to the man's office, and find out how he's doing, what his family is about, and take him out for some coffee. Don't sell him anything. Just talk about the man. Okay, when you're done, talk about you. Let him know your family man and what your intentions are. And if he's excited and he want to buy right away, go ahead and sell them. But don't leave him hanging. Call him next week. Make sure he's enjoying the service. Don't find a new sale. I understand you want a new sale. He said it's $5. Don't find anybody else. This guy is your meal ticket. You're gonna talk with him. You're gonna have several conversations with this guy. You're not selling to anybody. This is your guy. And you will talk to the guy. He said, because of listening, the one customer got him 6 clients out of the one customer.
See?
He didn't go find the other 6. One customer bringing 6 people. And now he started building.
Exactly. People want to know that you're going to be there and that you care.
Now, Victor is watching over on Facebook, and he says, I guess people will sometimes charge lower than they ought to because it would put them under the gun to perform and to perform at a high level. When they charge a small fee, they don't feel compelled to have any pressure to do something great. So, Victor, is that a good thing, or is that like they need to step it up? And I can have you come on if you'd like. I'm trying to figure out how to do that on Facebook, but I can definitely send you a link if you want to talk about it further, if your camera ready.
But I think he's got a point there. Lots of time, if somebody can draw an ebook, a PDF, and they don't have to do anything more, also their business don't move. Maybe they don't realize it, but that's what happens. Because that's all you're doing. You want to elaborate. Like I've got the PDF of, the 30 money principles. And the reason I haven't even been advertising it lately, because I had it critiqued, and I am happy that it was critiqued. And, we talked about how I can make it better, because although it's good, it could be better. Yes. Meaning I could do 3 little mini videos for it. I could give it away partially as a freebie and then sell it for the same money, but bring it more food, bring it and get more juicy for people so that they can see the value in it. Because yes, you girls know about it, you know me, but for a stranger that don't know me, they needed to know a little bit more. And I park it, when we had the first discussion about it. And I was asking why, and this is the thing you need to do about yourself, why you don't want to do something. And I was thinking, it's finished. Like, I did the work already. To answer, like what Victor talking about, I wanted to address that. I was like, I need to go put in more work into this. Like, this is ridiculous. I said it. And then I sat with it and I went back and I looked at it and I said, Sally, you're right. I said, but I still want to know why, because she goes, I would be like a customer for you. You want to talk to people like me. And I didn't have enough. No, I know you, but I didn't have enough. But I would buy it. But I want some more. I want to know X, Y, and Z. So we had a discussion about it on Zoom like this. And she's like, and then you could sell the darn thing for $27. You don't need to sell it for $10, right? After you put in the time. So I agreed, Victor. Sometimes we do so little bit. Even when we could do more, but it's going to take more of us. But we always have to remember, is this a one-time item or a continue? And if it's going to lead up to something bigger, you understand, you want to put in the time. So if you put in the time for a $27 item versus a $10 item, the $17 more every time it sells, is it not worth your time to put in that extra time?
Yeah.
To get the $17 over time? It really does. Sometimes you need somebody else's eyes to see that to you. If when you don't like it.
Yeah, instead of
you know how to do it. That's a fact,
Instead of doing, like you said, instead of doing the little $5 or $10 version or something, put in the extra work and get a full value, because now you're opening it up to a different caliber of customer.
And would that caliber be the kind of people you really want?
Yeah.
Because one of the biggest questions I get asked regularly, even by other coaches, is how do I feel about helping people in debt repayment? Because that's not what they want to do. But when they say to people, I'm a money coach or whatever, people automatically assume that they help you correct your debt, get you out of debt, stuff. And that's not what she wanted it. And I said, well, that's not what I do. Having said that, if somebody comes to me and that's a problem, I can help them. If they want to work, get out of it. Mm-hmm. I could say I'm a genius at it. I could take you with nothing and bring you up. I could do it, but is that my focus? No. But if that's part of what's involved in getting you to where you need to be, I will do it. You're going to have to work hard at it, but I will do it. But it's not my main focus. And so that's not what I do. So I'm in a different category when I'm looking for people who need to handle their money and their mindset. Because I'm not trying to say to you, girl, you need to go find something at a dollar store. No.
So,
but that's what a track, you know, if you didn't know, right?
Yeah, so Victor said it comes from a lack of confidence in the ability or inability or product. So that's kind of interesting. A lack of confidence in your ability or lack of confidence in your product. Therefore you're just going to sell it at, okay, I'll just sell it for that. And now people are seeing that. Why is it not 2,500?
And you're thinking it's going to make you easier money. Part of getting, you know, you put in probably double the work to make $5 than you probably put in to make $10. You know, it's the truth of the matter. Anytime you sell your product at subpar, you're working hard to sell it at subpar. If that's not your style.
And because you're absolutely right. For me to sell $1 million house takes more work than selling the smaller house. However, I still have to do some of the same steps, right? So for me to sell a $500,000 house is selling a $60,000 house is the same work.
A dress is a dress, right? A dress is a dress. I had a friend, you know, a dress is a dress. And she would make simple dresses. So I'm going to hit them on the parking just and sell $20 dress or $30 dresses. I'm not going to dress. She said, how much you charge for a dress? So my dress starts $65. She's like, what? Yeah. Now, she has to make how much dresses to make $120? I have to make 2 dresses. I make $130. For she to make $120, she got to sell 6 dresses. Is she not cutting a hole at the arm and neck and the leg? She's not doing it. But as Victor is saying, she don't have the confidence that people will pay the money to her.
Yeah.
Versus I'm in my head stating, why wouldn't they pay me $65? They are so lucky that all I'm charging is $65.
I like that. I like that. I like that reframing. They are lucky. That's all I'm charging.
All I'm charging is $65. I love surprising me. I think people should really get back to that. Like, surprise yourself, excite yourself. You know, just surprise and excite yourself in all the things you can do. And if you're not sure, if you procrastinate, here's one thing I want to leave with people. When you're procrastinating, write a list of all the great things you can do. And then write another list of all the things that you think you can't do. And then question the things you can't do as to why you can't do them. I'm not saying to go do it. I'm just saying question it. Because in that list, I bet you there's things that you really could do, but you have decided you can't do it. Now, you mightn't be able to do them as well as the list that you're great at. That doesn't mean that you don't have a couple of nuggets in there of things you think you can't do. Keep working on that list. It'll get you moving every time. At least for me, it gets me excited. And I've known I've given it to people and get them excited. Now, the excitement is short-lived. I gotta tell you. It's very short-lived. It doesn't last long. I'm not gonna lie to you. But if you keep doing it, you'll notice for yourself how great you are, how good you are at what you do. I had a friend that they had a pizza parlor. They owned a travel lodge at one point. They owned several different businesses. Not her parents owned it. But she has decided that she doesn't know to do anything. She went to school for graphic design, and that's what she could do. So I had to make a list of all that she learned at the businesses that wasn't hers, that she don't know what to do. And her list was crazy great. And we keep doing this over and over and over and over. We did it several times because, of course, she'll be excited and then she'll flatten out if I'm not around. And then we first split up and say, go find a job that you can do that sort of stuff in. And then she find a job and they don't need all that stuff. And I'm saying to her, they do. But they don't know they need it yet. You're going to make them know they need what you have. She found a job at a hotel, front desk. And why wouldn't she use the travel lodge experience with the customers so that when she's not on work, her supervisor always call her to find out something. Always is interesting to talk to her. See how all her skills are repurposing itself? And then she was a teacher for a little while. Like she left that, she got a teaching job. The point is, she took skills that she might not have thought of, but because it was on the list, she could go in there, pull them out, and get a job. I hope one day she really own her own business. We're still working on that. We're working on that for her. But the point is, it's a slow crawl. I understand this, but I'm not allowing her to just say, I have no skills. I can't do this. I'm saying this for the procrastinators, for the sabotagers, self-included. I keep reminding me when I go in my slump. Everybody go in their slump. We're not here telling you that we do it every day and we don't feel like quitting, giving up, but relaxing at some point. This is part of life. But you have to have a place to get back to. The list is short-lived, but it do get you out of the account quickly. The second thing to move from the list is to actually act on it. So if you say to me, Karen, on my list, I can do embroidery, but it's not going to bring me money. I don't really care. Get out a piece of cloth, get some, thread. It's so cheap. And make yourself a flower and start embroidering the flower, because while your hands are embroidering the flower, you're going to come up with something else on your list that you could actually do, even if it doesn't make you money, but you keep doing until you get to the thing that makes you the money.
Yep.
And that's what I really like to get from this, so that you're not stuck in procrastination world. So maybe all you're able to do is listen to videos right now on YouTube, but while you're doing that, you can, hand embroider the flower, or you can do something else while you're listening to that, whatever that thing is that might help you move forward. But I want you to be active. That's really the point of the matter here, to be active. And if it's a YouTube thing that you're looking at and you need to take notes, well, there's your activity. You look at your YouTube, you pause it to write your notes, and you continue. And then you actually take it and turn it into something. For heaven's sake, don't listen to YouTube and just walk away and go watch a movie or just say, well, that was good. You wasted your whole hour on YouTube.
And see, I like that, the takeaways. What are you going to take away from whatever you watched on YouTube? Take away and then implement. That's what Karen is talking about. And Victor said the only difference in your head or say is your paradigm. Okay, so what shifts are you going to make? What are you going to do today to shift from the self-sabotage? There are things you can do. I love what Karen just told us. Write the list of all of the things that you are good at. Write them down. The things that you do well, and you don't even think twice about it. You just do it. Write those things down. And then let's do something to do better about it. Don't stay stuck in the funk. When the basketball player is shooting and he's missing and stuff, the coach will tell him, keep shooting, because you are a shooter. This is what you do. So don't stop shooting because it didn't go in. Oh.
They were talking about a concept on Newsy called hot hands for basketball players.
Yeah.
That at some point after the repetition, you get hot and you start hitting all the time. Boom, boom, boom. Once you've warmed up, and you talk about this all the time, Francie, the more you practice, the easier it gets. Yep.
And you'll keep hitting the shot. But if you don't ever take the first shot, even though you miss, you're never going to get to the hot hand.
Exactly.
You never will. Look at those high jumpers, the people who jump over those things. I mean, I had friends who high jumpers, and they're not tall people. I don't even know why they would choose such a sport.
No, the high jump where you run and jump over.
And flop over without the pole.
Yes.
Yes. I had some short girlfriends, and I'm like, why would you pick that sport? I mean, I have to ask. They're not tall people. But they were good at it. I mean, they were just good at it. They brought home first prize every time. Now and then maybe second, but those girls go, they travel around the world for a bit. They were just good. I just went for it. They take off, and I'm like, oh boy, not that me. Oh boy. Next thing you know, they're like, over it. It's the mind. It has nothing to do with their size. It's the mind.
The mind.
Get their mind. Two Deborahs. It was in their mind. One was a runner too. But it was in their mind. I used to say to her, why don't you just run? She's like, no, I got to run and jump. Like, that's what I do. So she'll be in the races, she'll do the running, but she always in the high jump. Very rare she ever brought second. She's short.
So it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog.
I like that. I love it. So,
yeah.
I had a dash down who thought he could whoop everything.
But he was ready to Get in
He
there.
was good at it because he would get under stuff. But that's me, there, ladies. It's the top of the hour.
Yes, it is. We want to thank everybody who decided to tune in live today from YouTube and on Facebook and on Twitter and Google Plus. We want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching the replay. If this is a replay for you, we will have it up on our podcast, and our podcast can be found on Overcast and over on iTunes, in the Apple Play Store, or in the Apple App Store, in the podcast for Apple. So we want to, if you are in the Sacramento area tonight, we will be having a First Monday event over at Seasons 52. You are more than welcome to come out and join us. It's firstmondays.com. You can go there to get a ticket, or you can just show up and come on out. We'll be there from 5 to 7 p.m. Seasons 52 is on the Arden Fair Mall. What else do we got going on tomorrow? We'll have TJ in. She's going to be talking to us about digital marketing and social media. On Wednesday, the island girl herself will be back on Wednesday to talk to us about sales. This month, we're going to be talking about sales.
Every month.
Yes, so and so you want to come back for that. Definitely come back every Wednesday for sales. Thursday, we'll be talking health and wellness. Friday, we'll be talking tech. But today is your day to end the self-sabotage. Go do something today. Just get up and go do it. And we will see you. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, and we appreciate the time that you spent with us. And Terry, what else did you want to tell us?
Don't forget to go to the front of your own line.
Beautiful. Bye-bye.
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 And okay.